Hi, my name's Curtis Cleveland. I am a senior at Fort Hays State University, and this is my last year of college. I also work at the Kansas Department of Corrections in Hutchinson, Kansas, and I work for the Substance Abuse Center of Kansas. So I do my practicum through this and most of my lessons. So I'm actually at work right now. Shh, don't tell anybody. I wanted to go over the essence of the 8 meetings that I went to. I went to meetings at an NA group here in the facility. Went to an NA meeting on the outside. I went to an AA meeting on the outside. And those are 3 different meetings that I went to, and different groups. Obviously, the NA meeting behind the walls is with the residents, with people that are incarcerated, and then the NA meeting on the outside would just be the local public people. Uh, so let's get started on this. What strengths or beliefs did you share? When I was at the meetings, I shared the need for the meeting itself, as meeting makers make it. I also believe it's important to get a sponsor from the home group. I establish and I work the 12 steps program. I believe in that. I believe in 90 meetings in 90 days. I did that myself when I was coming through my addiction. I did all those things. I got a sponsor. I worked the 12 steps. I did the 90 meetings in 90 days. I believe meeting makers do make it. And I also believe that one addict helping another is very important and one of the major reasons for the meetings. Did anything unexpected happen? Yeah, I ran into an old classmate in a meeting, and she divulged to me that I used to have a really cool car when I was in high school, and she always wanted to go for a ride in the car. Uh, kind of crazy. But hey, you never know what's going to happen in a meeting. As we get older, we're not afraid to say how we feel. And, it was just one of those moments, and we both laughed about it after the fact. And it was a good meeting that we had that day. How did you respond to challenges? I didn't feel that the meetings had specific challenges other than what I might share. I was always challenged by what are you going to share today in the meeting. I always allowed the theme of the meeting to determine how and what I might share with the group. So, depending on what the theme was, I would find something in my life to share about that. Who did you build a positive relationship with? I've built several positive relationships through the years as a recovering addict myself. I've gone to the NA meetings, I've gone to the AA meetings, local in the community. So when I went back to these meetings, I ran into old friends. I ran into people I haven't seen because I don't go to the meetings as often as I used to. Haven't been to a meeting for probably 3 or 4 months. So it was good to see some of the old friends and just kind of get caught up on how everybody's doing and how I'm doing in my life. Um, what were you drawn to? I've always been drawn to the honesty in the meeting. I feel that the honesty in the meeting is, without a doubt, the number one factor. There's nothing greater than listening to the stories of people in their recovery and what they do to gain recovery. It's better than any book out there to go to a meeting and just listen to those stories. What might you want to learn more about because of this? I'm always continuing to try new ideas for a meeting, especially as a topic. Um, I tried this for a meeting. I used the whack a mole concept in one meeting as a discussion. And the way I set that up, whack a mole's where you have the mole and he pops up and you try to whack him with a thing. They do this at the Dave and Buster's stores and bars that are around the country. So in my whack a mole, I basically had the mole pop up and I put in there several different drugs like heroin, cocaine, methamphetamine, marijuana. MDMA, things like that. Put those all out there. Then I also put in some specific uh, behavioral addiction such as overeating, sexual addiction, gambling, nicotine, caffeine, and internet gaming. And then I asked the guys, I said, where does the mole pop up for you first? And so they would go through and they would say, oh man, a lot of times the mole pops up under alcohol. So I drink alcohol, and then the mole will pop up over here under marijuana, because I always want to smoke some marijuana, and then maybe methamphetamine, and then I'm actually out there in my sexual addiction. I'm starting to have random sex with strangers, and doing this and doing that. So they're saying, the mole's continuing to pop up in these different areas. So it was a great discussion. There was about 12 to 15 different areas that they could reach out to, and they said, man, it's amazing how the mole just kind of pops up here, and then over here, and then over here, and over here, and the next thing you know, I've delved into 6 or 7 of these different areas. So that was a really good one for us to learn and for me to use in the meetings. What was the most enjoyable moment? Again, that was with reuniting with friends from the AA meetings. My sponsor was actually there, so I got to talk to him for a little bit. I hadn't talked to him for a while. Shame on me for not keeping in touch with my sponsor and other friends as well. So I really enjoyed that. What were you most interested, or what were your most interesting discoveries? Probably the fact that no matter where an AA or NA meetings are taking place, whether it be behind the walls or in the community, the purpose of one addict helping another runs strong as individuals share their stories. So I found that very interesting. What did you realize about yourself? I realized repeatedly as I attend meetings and share that our story is who we are, and our recovery is who we become as we share and care for those who are struggling. So it's always great to reminisce a little bit about the past, and because it helps us see where we were and where we are, because sometimes we're hard on ourselves and we don't realize, man, I seem like I'm stuck in the mud, I'm not getting anywhere. And then you share a story from the past and you're like, my goodness, I've leaped miles, I've leaped years ahead in my recovery and the person that I am today as compared to the person that first started becoming sober. So that was something that I realized about myself. That this should give you a new perspective, challenge your point of view, or introduce you to new techniques, skills, or processes. I'll tell you what, one new technique that I learned that I found to be very useful as we talk about recovery was the sociological philosophy of the backstage and the front stage. The front stage being the person that we build ourselves up to be in front of other people. It's how we put on the dog, put on the show. We talk a certain way, we act a certain way, we are a certain way. Kind of like going to church and then coming home, when we're at church, we're this one person. When we get home, we're somebody else, maybe, a little bit. And that would be the backstage person, the person that in their privacy, who they are. And I always encourage the guys that really what we want is we want that front stage person and that backstage person to be the same person. And that's what we're shooting for, and that's what we're trying to figure out. So that was one of the things that I really connected with as far as a perspective or challenge or technique to skill to introduce. Does this connect to any past experiences or themes? If so, which? I reconnected to my first NA and AA meetings. I attended when I was in jail and when I went to treatment. It was a breath of fresh air to reunite myself with the local meeting and renewing friendships with those that I had known from the past, and also to look back into my past a little bit and see who I was and where I've come. Were there any areas of risk? No, not so much. I didn't feel any risk. I've been sober for about 11 years now. I'm around addicts every day here in the prison, active addicts, guys that have used 10 minutes before they come to a meeting, this and that. So I'm very familiar with all that, and I'm not drawn to that risk in that fashion. So not so much risk for me. What did you learn about yourself? I learned that once again that this is the path God has led me down, and this is my calling in life, is to work with addicts and to work in the prison setting with the addicts and to encourage them to get sober and stay sober when they leave the prison and go out into the world. How did your involvement and participation fit into your broader development goals on self improvement? Man, I continue to work on my character flaws as I attend meetings and concentrate on such things as avoiding negative talk and gossiping, avoiding foul language in my communication, and continue to work on patience in all that I do. And man, I tell you what, I need patience. That is probably the number one thing that I could say I need in my life, is to continue to have patience and wait for God to do God in His time, and just be patient in the process. And finally, what would you change? Man, I tell you, this is what I would change. Nothing else, but I would change this. Everything is perfect. But I think it would be fantastic if everyone that is in this class were to actually run one meeting. And that would take a lot of patience and probably a little bit of research and maybe some explanation and some tutorialing with others that have run meetings. But I think for you to sit in the driver's seat and actually run an NA or an AA meeting would be a fantastic way to learn the process, understand the process, and dive a little bit deeper into what it truly means to be involved in the recovery of an addict. Thank you.